What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. We are joined today by a faithful supporter of the enemy for Saturday afternoon, coming from Nottingham. Tis coming from his cave, his cave where no man, woman, or child ever dareth go. It's Longhead Yeti. How we doing, mate? You all good?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. It's not started on my channel for some reason. It's still saying waiting, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, everything's good in a forest wonderland at the moment. So it's nice to be where we are, and yeah, everything's going good. And I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow as well. So.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Big up Fuzzy and the Yeti.
Big
Big
up
up to
DJ
you,
Crane.
DJ Crane. It says you're live on my end, so yeah, you're streaming to your YouTube, so everything seems to be all good there. I think it's just not updated on your feed, but yeah, you are live. But yeah, so tomorrow afternoon it's 7th versus 13th. And it's not the way round that everyone thinks it is. It's top half of the table, Nottingham Forest versus bottom half of the table, Manchester United. They got one side of things that it's thing looking quite good for Nottingham Forest at the moment. Maybe in the last few games it's been a bit rough seas, but
Yeah.
as a seasonal whole so far, it seems to be going in the right direction. What's your overall feeling for the season so far? Is it a majority positive sort of feeling?
Mate, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I mean, I think I couldn't have asked for anything more on this season at the moment. Yeah, I've just found it's live now. Right, so yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, mate. At the end of the day, I've said like I want to sort of be out of the relegation issues and all that kind of stuff, and start making our way top 12, top 10. What we're actually doing is absolutely off the scale. I never expected this, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, like you say, we are having a bit of a wobble at the minute, so it's probably the best time to actually play us for you guys as well. And but we're just going to keep going with it, and there's a lot of work to do for us. Yeah, I mean, anybody that expects we're just going to go City and all that lot and win, or just even give them a game or be on their level, back in the start of the season, possibly we could have done it a little bit better, but mate, there's nothing but happiness for me, for my club. And big up Expat Red as well, bro. Big up.
And it's a return of Donna Colour. She's disappeared. She's gone hitting on everybody else in YouTube's feed. And she's circled back to me. I think the rejection is probably not handling rejection all that well, but hope all is well in your little world, Donna. But yeah, big ups to Expatriate 66. Just seeing the title and soiled myself thinking I've missed a game.
Soiled myself.
I soil myself on the daily watching Ten Hag ball at Man United. Ten Haram ball, as they call it. But I'll tell you what, it's a different sort of vibe, feeling at Manchester United. Like, sure, we lost last time out against Arsenal, but it's one of those losses against Arsenal that not really that many United fans are all that disappointed about. They're not like mad raging, like losing their rag or anything like that. They seem quite composed, and I think this is a nice feeling to have in a fan base where nobody's going at each other when you get a bad result. And I suppose you can look at it from a standpoint that wasn't result was bad, but look at the finer details of a performance. The performance is what you've got to focus on. And to be fair, it looked like there was progression there. First half, we went to the Emirates and we dominated possession as the away team. So that's not a common feat with Arsenal. You don't see them cede that much possession. So there's a workings of something positive there. Um, what's your feelings about this switch up of Manchester United in recent games with Amorim? Are you impressed with what you've seen so far, or are you sort of like, I'm not quite
Mm.
with it yet?
I can see a difference. I can definitely see a difference. There's definitely more fight there. The game against Ipswich, which I watched, didn't seem to be there. You saw the same old
Mm,
problems being there. You sort of started well and then sort of dropped off and stuff.
yeah,
Watching the, I mean, you'll hate me for this, but every time I actually turned on to the Arsenal Man United game, looking Arsenal scored. Every time
yeah,
I dropped onto that stream, Arsenal scored. The first one was offside, and then it was the corner, and then I went again, and then they scored straight away again. But I definitely see improvement. I mean, I thought that the Diallo guy,
mm,
I've always liked him anyway. I think he's
yeah,
really taken to the role that he's been given, and
mm.
that Ugart or whatever his name
Agate,
is.
yeah, the midfielder.
He looked decent. I mean, every time
Mm,
Odegaard got it, he was on him. And Arsenal need that set piece at the minute. They are. I mean, if you watch, I was watching the other day and watched a few other games. They basically take it down the wing, and if they can't get the cross in, they'll just go for the deflection for the corner. You know, and I can't fault them on that. To be honest, I mean, when you're that good at set pieces, then why not try and get the set pieces instead of kind of if they're going to get you goals? I mean, they had what 12 set pieces,
mm.
3 goals. Ain't a
13
bad
points.
average, to be honest, is it? You
Yeah,
know,
I think with that game, it was quite obvious when you look at the stats what the game plan was. Just set
mm,
piece, spam
yeah,
set pieces. Maybe it's Tony Pulis, Tapas Pulis is well and truly in full swing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Lee Gunner called it out from day one. Tapas Pulis, that was
Mm,
well and truly a prime Stoke City performance. I've like forget windy
big up
Tuesday
Anthony.
nights on yeah, the Britannia. Wet and windy
Mm,
Tuesday night sat at the Emirates. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
yeah,
surprised they weren't
yeah.
wearing red and striped shirts, but yeah, man. Big ups to add to you here, but big up, lads. Hope you're well. Got to say, you're both shit. May the best team win.
Both shit. If it weren't for us, you wouldn't have got yourselves going again.
Stop hitting on people.
Big up Arsenal X-rated as well. Just seen you
Yeah,
in the chat.
big ups to Aaron. Uh, totally fuzzy missed you. Fucking like I have. And big ups to Football Dad's Army.
Big up, mate.
Big ups to Lee. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you, mate. Big up Philip Flop. Carrot. Oh my god. Here we go. Greetings from
You know, you're Serbian cousin.
Fuzovic. Just trying to figure out what the blend is here. I mean, my forehead is somehow bigger in that picture, but I have no idea who the face is.
Well, when he did it the other day, I thought it was Abramovich, but he's not Serbian, is he?
Nah, I think Roman
No.
Abramovich is a Russian.
Yeah, I don't know who he is then. But I mean, the thing is, I mean, with this guy that you've got now, will
Mm,
sort it out one way or the other. Whether it's with the
mm,
players that you've got on the pitch now, which I
yeah,
don't think it will be. I think one or two of them will remain. But he will sort it out eventually, and I think you will be that team again. You will start getting to that height again. When it comes to Forest, I'm absolutely proud. I think we actually look like a Premier League team now, even though we do need, we do have some games where we're just not at it at the minute. I think that's the biggest worry for me at the moment. When a manager gets a team playing in a certain style and everybody knows what they're doing, and that's how we stayed unbeaten and all that. As soon as that starts to drift a little bit, because the defense for me at the minute is starting to lack a little bit of concentration. And I think that's quite difficult to get that back. So that's
mm,
kind of a worry. But I mean, 22 points in the Premier League at the minute, couldn't
mm.
ask for more than that, to be honest. Well, I could. I could ask for being top of the league, but, you know, You can't ask for that more than that on a sort of building to what we're trying to get. So yeah, and Woods is like up there with the scorers as well. So
Yeah, 100%. Literally, I want to just be actual friends with you. Yeah, I mean, you're always welcome in the chat, Donna. You're always welcome in the chat as long as people aren't like doing no Diddy shit in my chat. Don't want no SWAT team coming through my window. Blend is half your side and half outside the family. For fuck's sake. Here comes Early Flossie. Fucking
that one is mental, isn't it? These ones that they do are absolutely mental.
who are these people? There's so many accounts, it just never stops.
It's
Fucking hell.
crazy, mate. Crazy.
But
Good to have them aboard, though. To be honest.
yeah, that's how you know where Early Doors has got half of his subs from. Just
Yeah, probably, yeah.
but yeah, biggest to Early Doors. But without a game tomorrow, with the approach that both of us are going to be taking, I mean, you've gotten into quite a few games recently with your team, sort of feeling like, we can cause quite a whole array of upsets. Right, you've already
Yeah.
beaten Liverpool, currently leaders by about 9 points at Anfield, which I think is like their only loss this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So this like Nottingham Forest this season can absolutely go away to a tough place and get the job done
Yeah.
quite easily.
Yeah.
But with the recent run of games, I mean, Arsenal, we were hoping that there'll be more life in that sort of game. Didn't really plan out that way. I think finally other results. It was I think it was Newcastle at home that you had,
Yeah,
where
we
you
got
took the
panned,
lead,
yeah.
and then you sort of let the game slip away from you. 3-0 away to Arsenal. You're hoping more fight with that game. You beat Ipswich at home following that, so maybe there was a feeling that things might just get back on track again rather than just being
that wasn't like a massive big win though. I mean, that could have been a little bit dicey. I mean, if it wasn't for the Aina take off the line and also the Delap took the ball off Chaplin, who was running in to hit it. I mean, Sells may have saved it, but it was close up, so I would highly doubt it. So I mean, that wasn't like, we've got to get his heads back in the game. We've got to get ourselves sorted out again. You're going to have a dip. Every team has a dip, don't they? I mean, well, you never actually have anything else than a dip. But,
our existence is just a dip. Every season is just a dip.
You seem to be on a permanent dip, but I mean, but the thing is, I mean, would you imagine it though? I mean, the way we've played this season and some of the players we've got, I think the biggest worry is like wherever we sort of finish, is who you're going to keep and who you're going to lose. Because I mean, I have heard that Real Madrid are interested in Murillo at 80 million, 200 million, which would be great money for us. Great money for us. But do you want to lose the guy? Not really, but he wants Champions League football. So you can't turn down Real Madrid, can you? Let's face it.
Well, I mean, we've had our own transfer story linked with Real Madrid, and that's Diogo Dalot. And we've put up quite a big hefty price of upwards of 45 million pounds, which I've got to be honest, I know a lot of people are saying, no, I wouldn't sell them. If in January you can cash in on a player that, fast, rewind back to the summer, if you were to sell Diogo Dalot in the summer, people would say, oh, I'd take 20, 30 million.
Yeah.
If Real Madrid can come in and take him for like 45 million pounds, I'm snatching your hand off at that.
Of course
There's other options that you can get for cheaper that would have the same sort of impact that Diogo Dalot can have on this team, and the sort of profiles in which Amorim is looking for. There's a whole host of players that he can get out there, and not just that, but the sort of system he's implementing, the depth that seems to be apparent for all these different positions is that there's quite a few players we've got that have a capability of being like hybrid players where you can play in various different positions
Yeah.
and still have your own unique impact in that position. And what it's done is the team that we went into this season with, we looked at it with a back four, midfield, defensive midfield two, attacking three, with then your sole striker. I looked at that team, I'm like, there's a little bit of depth there, just a tiny bit of depth. But this all of a sudden, this 3-4-3 comes into fruition, or 3-4-2-1,
Mm.
and it's like there's so many different ways in which you can play the same team with that system, with
Yeah.
so many players in different positions, and the fact that Mason Mount gets in this team with Bruno playing,
Yeah.
Amad Diallo can get into this team with Anthony playing. Like there's so many different combinations that we can use with this. So I'm not necessarily going to lose any sleep if Real Madrid's buy him off of us for big money,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
can only mean a good thing for the finance sheets going through January transfer window. Plus, you've got an opportunity to strengthen. We're talking to the left side of the wing backs in Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich. Now,
Mm.
people have said, well, they're confident that we can get him to sign a new contract, but he's out of contract in the summer, and Man United have gone to say, well, hold the phone. We want to have a talk with you and your representatives. So
Yeah.
that's what they're doing in January when clubs can start speaking to a player under contract within the last 6 months. So I think there's plans at play with Ineos, and the one thing that I got to say that I really enjoy about the future, the potential future of this Man United team is we've got a very good manager of position, very
Yeah.
good upcoming new ideas, fresh ideas that nobody else has really been specialising yet.
Mm.
So it's a new type of way of playing, but then the structure and support that this guy's now got with all of the board members above him, there's not been as solid a foundation in club operations since the days of David Gill and Sir Alex Ferguson. Everything else is between now and then was run by bankers and unqualified people. We've
Mm.
got football people qualified, intelligent, and know how
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So it's like it makes the prospect of where you can have upsets, losses, and going into games and where you're disappointed with the results as such. But you feel like there's a bigger image at play here, and I'm willing to be patient with it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's settled a lot of things down in the Man United fan base, and
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
positive,
Yeah. I
very
get
positive stuff.
that. Yeah, I get that.
And I feel like with players, we're going to see players come into form, but
Mm.
I feel like still need to be sold. Like for instance, Marcus Rashford scored
Definitely.
2-3
Yeah.
goals in a game, and I still think he's got to go.
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen, since being played in Ipswich, has not been seen again. He's not injured. He's not suspended. Just
Mm.
don't want to play him. Doesn't got the legs or the firepower.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fair play and all, to be honest.
So in terms of management with this squad and the players that we've got, he's Amorim's been quite clever in
No.
um, really highlighting the people that are not fit for his system. He's
Yeah.
playing them and he's exposing where their flaws and weaknesses are. But it's like,
Mm.
but because I'm going to be playing this way, you can't keep these guys here because you know they don't fit my system. So the
Yeah.
board haven't got any other choice but to act on that. So I think this is going to be a strong working partnership between manager and board. So
I think,
I'm
to be honest, mate, if he's not, if he can't do it, you might as well just fold the club, ain't you? And just give up. You might as well just give
we
up,
might have
mate.
to
Honestly,
finally give it to Gareth Southgate, I guess.
that's what I mean. You may as well just fold the
Unless
club, mate.
West Ham go and get him before us, so that could
Yeah.
be a
I mean,
possibility.
this guy's a proven guy. I mean, whether he's actually going to bring this Gyökeres in, which will be very interesting if he actually does do that. He's worked with Ugar before, whatever his name is, and I thought he was decent the other day. Actually, I thought he was really decent in midfield, but he seemed to be the only one that was really doing anything. So there needed to be more of it there. But I mean, I can see the difference that he's making. And even Rashford's like scoring goals, but again, he's still got that thing where, for me, I'd slap him one. I would, honestly. If I was a ref, I'd be doing the Alex Ferguson ref. I mean, a manager. I'd be doing the Alex Ferguson kick the football boot in his head. That's what I'd be doing, to be honest.
Or the
Because
Cesc Fabregas pizza slice.
yeah, exactly.
That fucking
Big up,
pizza.
Jez. How you doing, mate? Be back in 1 second, mate. I've left me fucking beer in the freezer.
Could be icicle, that is. But we'll rifle through some of the comments. Honest score predictions, boys. I'm going to go. I'll go with like a 2-1. I'll go with a 2-1 United. I'm sure Yeti might go with a different scoreline, but yeah, I don't necessarily think we're sort of in a position to blow teams away. But I still think that Forest they're going to have a bit of life in them. They'll come out. They'll come out fighting. Spurs are in trouble. Happy days. Absolutely, gotta love it. Ange beefing with the fans. Fans beefing with Ange. It's a beautiful sight. Like, I love it. My early doors, you Mama Glossy's husband, Mama Glossy. Well, did you see how Forest cope after their first loss after their run? Yeah, I think this. To be fair, give benefit of the doubt, it's a fucking tough run of fixtures. To be fair, like in their last 6 games, they would play West Ham, they won convincingly. Newcastle at home, tough game. Arsenal away, tough game. Ipswich at home, in the banana skin game potentially. Man City, despite their crisis, tough game away. And then straight after that, Manchester United away. That's not an easy run of fixtures for any team. So, you could expect dropped points somewhere in there, but yeah, it looks like they've struggled to get back on their feet a little bit. Don't know if I had a wrench. Perma-dip, absolutely. I've got to say, I think Forest will win. I remember Chris Wood was on his way to Man United. They were calling in CW7 after Ronaldo. I never remembered us ever being linked to Chris Wood. Maybe if he was like way back in the days of Burnley, but still, Dalot's form's a bit up and down, to be honest. Is fairly inconsistent. When shall we start to see Amorim ball? Any expectations for us? To be honest, we've started already seeing some of Amorim ball, like little moments with combinations, shaping. We already see it with how we perform out of possession, with the way we set up. The shaping that we hold in defensive scenarios is really, really well disciplined. I'm being quite impressed with the way that they've tried to contain things.
Yeah, I got point out, by the way.
And defend as a unit. But I think it's just, for every game we go through, just hope to see more of it, basically, and score some goals with it. So what are your hobbies other than football?
I'll tell you one thing, though, for us. I'll tell you one thing I won't be doing. And that is, if we get 2-0 up, I will not be coming into your chat and going, we're going to score one more than you.
If you go 2-0 up, don't worry about PTSDs that might strike you. Have a few warnings was there. What I do hobbies other than football? Just a bit of gaming, sleeping. If I'm not doing either one of those two things, I'm working.
Sleeping's not an hobby.
Sure, it is.
It's
outside of the the hobbies of the necessity of actually having to sleep and have a sleeping pattern. Sometimes in the afternoons I'll have a little siesta.
And then again, I do hibernate, so I suppose it is a little bit of a thing, isn't it? So.
The longest do not disturb setting on your phone ever. Just never pick up to anybody. You're getting sacked in the morning. January fixtures. So who do you reckon, if managers are getting sacked in January, who do you reckon's getting
it? Well, the first one for me, I mean, a lot of it's going to come down to this Wolves West Ham game, because I think that will see one manager go,
Yeah.
whichever way. And if Lopetegui loses that one, that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
Catch you later, football dad's army. That as soon as that one's done, it could be Lopetegui, and it should be Lopetegui, because they deserve a lot better than what they're getting at the moment. So, whether it's player or whether it's what. I mean, is it player? Because I mean, you have seen these players perform for other managers, so I don't think it's player.
You say they were doing any better under David Moyes, or these players were performing better?
No, but some. Yeah, I mean, the one in Europe, didn't they? Like Arsenal's never done yet. But I mean, so you got to look at it like that, ain't you? With them Tish. And so basically, he did have them playing at times. I mean, there was at one point where they was really doing well up near the top, under Moyes. So, he did have them playing well at times. But is it that the players don't like this manager? Because a lot of players don't like managers that are really, really defensive. It means they have to work hard, and they don't like that.
Yeah. Get a set piece coach before you sack Amorim. More like keep your set piece coach, but sack everybody else at Arsenal. Literally, seriously, get yourself a top level baller, balling coach or something. Keep your set piece coach. Happy days. You'll dominate world football with that.
You seen that, Mama Budgie?
Oh, fucking life. I'll not mind in the comments. I'll get to that in a second. But it's Jez, good to see you.
Mama Budgie.
Amorim Kool-Aid to me. Jesus Christ. Fucking early fuzz hot doors.
What do you think? Do you think a lot of them players will still be there when he gets like proper, associated with a team and everything like that? Do you think that'll be the team you'll have in, like, say, I'd say 1-2 years? He'll have it sorted.
No, I think I think there'll be quite a big exodus of certain players. I think in terms of names that I'd expect us to get rid of. I mean, Johnny Evans is bound to go. Victor Lindelof will probably end up going. Maguire may end up going. Dalot might get cashed in on. I think Luke Shaw, if he doesn't find fitness, I think the club might see fit to letting him go. He's been out for ages because he's just sort of going to turn into a Reece James or a Phil Jones at this point. Christian Eriksen, we know, is going. I think Rashford, they might call it a day on. Garnacho, I think, is another player that I think they look at. They probably think we hope to get more out of him, but this guy's he's not fitting into this puzzle at all at the moment. So they might think, well, we'll offer him to clubs and see what people say. Anthony, I think I'm sort of split. He may go, but he also may stay. I think it just depends on how Amorim wants to use him. Maybe as a win back.
That'd be a car boot. That'd be a car boot sale, wouldn't
it? Or they'll sell him out. They'll have to sell him out of a car boot because nobody could probably bloody afford getting back all the money they spent on him.
That'd be hilarious if he gets a car boot and this car just pulls up and Anthony gets out of the boot. I'll give you a fiver.
They'll have to get him in a dinghy and send him over to Amsterdam at this point, or hide him in a container and send him through the Channel Tunnel.
He's got to turn around though. I mean, it's got to turn around. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Man United. I've never had an issue with Man United, to be honest, but he's got to turn around for you in that respect. And I think a lot of these teams that's like looks at you and just thinks, well, you ain't all that anymore and all this kind of stuff. I think they're going to rue the day on that one, to be honest. I mean, it's going to be the same for us as well because we're starting to make waves. And like I say, we actually look part of the Premier League now. And the
Mm,
thing is, I mean, watching that video the other day on Marianakis,
yeah.
he was pretty much saying what he wants out of Forest to get him back in Europe and stuff. So actually, what he says he wants another European Cup before Arsenal get anywhere near one. That's what he said. But basically, if Nuno, if this doesn't sort itself out, Nuno will go. I don't think he's going to mess about at all. He's trying to buy a Brazilian team now to get a bigger. I'm not sure on the Edu thing, to be honest. I mean, he's talking to Edu to get him as part of our club.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure on, to be fair, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. We've got to trust him because of what he's done already. So
It's true. I mean, I've got to say, if you get Edu and things don't chalk up. Oh, what would be interesting is if Edu does come in as your director and actually hits the ground running and actually signs you some smart business. That
but I
would
mean,
be
we're already bringing in good players, so I don't really see why we need that. That's where I can't work it out. But if he's buying this Brazilian club, then he might have Edu over there because we know how much Edu likes his Brazilians. But I mean, look at the Brazilians we've bought in now. We bought some quality ones in, so I don't really see where we needed him personally, but I don't know.
2-1 are fair and realistic, but they are top four on away record, says Early Fuzz with Nottingham Forest. And that was in response to a question about what our honest score predictions for this game was going to be. I've said that will probably be like a Man United 2-1 because I don't necessarily see Man United going all out or Nottingham Forest necessarily completely wiping the floor with United in any way. What's your feeling about a score prediction for this game?
If we play the way that we can, looking at your midfield, and if our midfield turns up, which it hasn't done for the last 2-3 games, and we get the defence sorted out as well, which is, it's one game after another, so that's got to be sorted. I think with our strike force as well, I think we could probably win it 2-1, to be honest. I mean, I'd say 2-1 to us because, I mean, there's got to be some kind of reaction towards the City game because Nuno keeps saying the same thing. We'll learn from this. We'll learn from this. Well, I mean, you're not learning from this, though, are you? So, I mean, that makes a big difference as well, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, if there's any way in which I could give you benefit of the doubt, the fact is that your run of fixtures, with tough team after tough team, you can get a smaller team to sort of bounce back on and actually reinstate that sort of confidence and positive feeling so that you're re-energized to go to the next game. But if you go into one game, get kicked down, and then the next team is just coming to kick you in the face again, it's just like it's hard to get restarted and get back up to speed again straight away. So I'd imagine that with this game, there's going to be a lot of effort to cause that upset result. Like really, really go for it. So I'm expecting a close score line on Saturday, but it's just ultimately who converts their big chances, who takes their big chances.
Yeah. I mean, Rashford seems to turn up against us as well, don't he? So it's one of them. It's one of them for me. Yeah, I know. Game preview. I put game review by accident, but it's one of those. It's one of them things, really. I mean, it's we could actually get you going again. Because I mean, we seem to be pretty good at that, getting teams that are in a bit of a slump and actually firing them back up again. Even that didn't work for West Ham. So, I mean, that says a lot about Lopetegui right there, doesn't it, really? So we've just got to get back to the basics of what we was doing when we was unbeaten. That's what we've got to do. And I think sometimes he panics a little bit when we've got no Morgan Gibbs White and Anderson, and he does crazy stuff. I mean, the thing he did against Arsenal was just insane. putting Yates as a 10 and then having James Ward-Prowse and Dominguez. It was only Dominguez actually trying to do midfield, and that's why he just walked straight through us. It was pathetic, and that's why I'm not gonna sit here and do what I did, which I don't normally do, and go, yeah, we're gonna beat you, yeah, you're nothing, yeah, we'll beat you, and all this, that, and the other. Because that's the first time I've done it, and that's the first time I've actually fucking landed on my head by doing it. So yeah, not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I suppose with this game, it's you could say it's a must-win for both of us. I mean, the crazy thing about what the table reads at the moment, we're down in 13th place, and it's just like, Jesus, is a win going to really move us that far up the table? Well, if everybody between us and Brighton fails to win their games and we win, we jump from 13th to 6th.
Yeah, exactly.
Goal difference.
Yeah,
it's just like it's fucking mental with the way the table is and how tight things are, and how many teams can seriously have a couple of weeks of results and they'll drop from high end table to bottom half. It's crazy how tightly contested the middle of the pack is.
Amorim just wants his win, doesn't he? He wants his win. He wants that win. So it's not going to be an easy game. I wouldn't ever turn around and say it's going to be an easy game, because it's always a decent game between Man United and Forest anyway. But we've got to be on our game. We haven't been for the last 3 games, and we've got to be on it this time. And there's no excuses for me. You know the way I look at it. There's absolutely no excuses. You go out there and you go and win that game and you take it, and that's it. And if you don't do that, then look, if we didn't win, would it be a massive kick in the teeth? Not really, because of the season we've had. I mean, 22 points at this point is just fucking phenomenal for us, to be honest. So I mean, if we don't win, we don't win. We just got to go out there and put everything out there, because I'm sick of seeing us at the minute just going out there and giving like 30-40%. It's not good enough, man.
Well, out of your full seasonal record, you've had 4 losses so far in the Premier League. 3 of them have come in the last 4.
Yeah.
So if not for the recent, within the recent 4 games, I mean, you could literally be 4th. You could be above City.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be above City. Could be drawing or level on points with Arsenal and Chelsea. Maybe only behind really on goal difference, because I mean, at the moment your goal difference reads 0, but so and that is a sort of a thing with the goals scored and conceded. Scored 16, conceded 16. Sort of not. It's not a huge amount of action at either end of the pitch, but I think what probably says more about Nottingham Forest is that they manage games better. When they've got advantageous positions, they look to control the game, manage it every 20, 30 minutes. It's like a new game plan for you. And I think Nuno is he's sort of trying to coach every game to generating as much consistency as possible. I just think with recent results, it's sort of broken that consistency streak a little bit. But the aim, I think, is not really going to change there. You're not going to score a huge amount of goals. You're not going to concede a huge amount of goals. So Man United will have to work really hard to put goals past this Forest team. And I think with the way in which we play, I think the wing backs are going to be a big part of performance. I think if Xerxes plays, I think he's found a massive role to play in this team. And I think the technicality, I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the guys, look how shit this guy is." He's found.
He wasn't great against Arsenal, to be fair. He made quite a lot of mistakes against Arsenal.
I think between him and Hoyland, between the two of them, the sort of styles of strikers that we have, Xerxes brings a lot more to his teammates around him. the
Mm.
players around him, the two hybrid tens that play either side of him, do have a lot more involvement in the game, and I think it's a confidence booster because what we saw against Arsenal is the players in the tens looked like they were almost scared to have the ball, didn't
Mm.
really want to progress it further when the ball came to their area of the pitch. A lot of moving the
Yeah.
ball
Yeah.
backwards and a lot of attacks breaking down. So if we've got players that can really connect the dots further up the pitch, the defence is fine. Midfield seems to be okay. It's just that final third that I'm looking at that I really feel like if we can just connect the final couple of dots there,
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
that's grounds for a very strong performing Man United side,
Mm.
and their capabilities are there. I think Xerxes got the tools to do the job in the number nine. It just matters who those two number tens are. I think
Yeah.
Bruno's not really connecting in a way, even though his GA is quite strong. You know, he
Yeah.
still posts numbers even though he's not the best suited for that position. I think Mason Mount needs to play without fear to really, you know, make that position his, and have more end products. I think Amad Diallo gets used more as a wing back at the moment, but he could play in that position.
Yeah.
Um, keeps keeps players guessing, keeps defenders guessing.
Mm,
Uh,
he's a dangerous player. He is a
mm,
dangerous player, and we're going to have to be. I mean, our fullbacks at times have been pretty decent, and I would imagine he'll go with Moreno again.
mm,
You know, and he can sort of. I mean, he put Salah in his pocket, so I mean, he's capable of actually doing that. But he'd probably be up against Diallo anyway, I think. So that's not going to be easy.
mm,
Oiland, I thought against Arsenal looked quite decent as well. I had a bit of a good fight with Saliba, but Arsenal are on a
mm,
different level at the moment. I mean, I don't. They've got some pretty nice games coming up as well
mm,
to keep it going. But they're just on a different level. You can see it. You can. I mean, obviously the international thing, however the controversy goes, that obviously helped them a lot as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, you've got to give credit where it's due. And at the minute, they're looking bloody good. But whether they could actually catch Liverpool, but I mean, besides them, fuck them anyway. It's about our teams. But you know, I think we're both gonna start to rise eventually. I think he's gonna get it right with you guys, whether it be Nuno or what. I think we'll actually start to rise as well and start actually trying to make a difference. We've just got to keep the consistency, basically.
mm, absolutely. I think with the thing I've noticed with the fullbacks of the oppositions is that a lot of the time there's a lot of focus of pressure, high press on the fullbacks, and the ball goes out into those wider channels. But I think it's going to be tougher, especially with two hybrid tens. You almost draw with how close the front three can end up playing. It does draw fullbacks in, and
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
your wing backs can, have acres of space. I mean, I think it was against Arsenal in the second half where we were ignoring a lot of positional plays. Amad Diallo was in so much space, and it
Mm,
was one ball away from absolute chaos
yeah,
for the Arsenal defence because they'll have to, fly back and try to hold shaping and prevent crosses or in swinging balls. Um, I think it just is going to matter what the fullback, the wingback selection is going to be. I think Diallo as an attacking option on the right. Malacia is another player that I'm quite impressed with for a guy that's been out
yeah,
over a
yeah,
calendar year and he's
yeah.
come in and he's taking that position in leaps and bounds. I knew he was good with Feyenoord's wing back position, but after that long out, not too sure about how he feels about his own body because I think in a first couple of games he played with the under 21s,
Mm,
he looked uncomfortable on the pitch because he's just like, I don't trust my body.
yeah, yeah.
To be honest, he's looking more and more like himself and a very good version of himself. So Malacia, I do hope he plays again. I think
Mm,
it's important to manage his minutes. Um, Same thing goes for Lenny Oro, his first competitive debut,
mm,
and Trossard is the guy that he's up against, and not really posed any problems at all. So Lenny Yoro, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. But again, it's going to be minutes managed. How that's going to work, whether he's going to be a player to come off the bench at some point tomorrow, or whether he'll start and get to a certain point before being taken off. And Harry Maguire, for as much as I give him an absolute teeth kicking
Yeah.
in the centre of a back three, he looks comfortable in a high line. Like
Yeah.
he looked comfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good positives with the individual side of things, but I need to see a good performance from the attacking part of the team, because it's all well and good defending and keeping Nottingham Forest out for a prolonged time, but you got
like I've said before, it's all about mentality. I said that before, if you remember, and I got like a lot of flack for it. But football is massively about mentality. You know, there's no point, as I've always said, there's no point having a tactic that only works when the player presses at a certain time. If that player's not up for pressing at that certain time, then your tactic don't work. So it's all going to come down to the fact of who wants it more. We should want it more. Well, actually, no. I mean, you guys should want it more as well, because I mean, it's Manchester United. It's at Old Trafford. You know, so I mean, to me, it's all going to come down to that. I think midfield's going to play a massive part in the game again. If we can manage to set the trap that we normally do, which again is kind of got worked out a little bit. I think it's not kind of working too well at the moment. But you've got to come up with something else. And it'll come down to the fact of, will we press? I mean, we didn't really press against Manchester City. I mean, Nuno said that he was impressed with the press, and I was like, what fucking press? I never even seen any press. It was just, I hate when you stand off players who's got the ball. I hate it. I can't stand it. Get in there, try and win it, do something to try and change the game or something like that. And it's all going to come down to that. We've got to get our heads back in the game and get that feeling we had before, you know, and start moving on. But again, as I've said, what we've done so far and the season that we've had and how the season's going to go, and the fact that we should not be anywhere near bottom three. We shouldn't be having any of those issues or anything like that, the way some of them are. So basically, you know, it can't be anything than up for Forest at the minute.
I'll tell you what, with Nottingham Forest, if they do opt to come in with quite a high press, one thing I've seen with Arsenal is that usually they do press from the front, and a lot of our transitional plays from defence into midfield, as long as the space opens up for us higher up the pitch, in transition especially, we've looked like we've been a bit more promising with playing through press, like being press resistant. How you're playing, the distance between defence to midfield. With Ten Hag, it was acres of space, and it looked uncomfortable watching the defence to try and connect the thirds of the pitch. With Amorim, he's just compressed it all down, so everyone's essentially playing 5-yard passes without having to stretch the play, unless a centre back is playing a diagonal, or one of your midfielders is playing a ball around the corner for a run from a wing back or one of your number 10s. And it's a very proactive system that I'm looking forward to seeing in action. They've got to sort of turn things around and not end up taking 2 losses on the bounce. Because, I mean, as far as realistic expectations as to a seasonal finish, I want to see Man United go and chase down that top 4 spot. Like, have a bit of ambition. You know, start next to the relegation zone at the start of the season. Oh, it can't get any worse than this for United. And then get a new manager who rallies the troops, and even with a squad that has so many issues with it, still recovering the season and going after some trophies, because we're still in 3 competitions, albeit the Europa League seems the most easiest at the moment. I mean, Tottenham away in the Carabao Cup next round, but then again, there might be might be the perfect time to play them if they're beefing, if the manager's beefing with the fans and fans are beefing
Well, I
with the
mean,
manager.
what is going on there, man? I mean, they beat City 4-0. They
Yeah,
lose. Their only team to lose to Ipswich. And then they lost to Bournemouth yesterday. Now, don't get me wrong, Bournemouth, any team that plays hard,
mm,
like Bournemouth do,
mm,
can take on teams like Spurs because they don't seem to be up for the fight, and they haven't been for ages. And I don't think
yeah,
it's down to Ange or anything like that. They're just not up for that fighting side of it, and you've got to be up for that. And we haven't been up for that for
mm,
last three games for me. We was a little bit with Newcastle, Arsenal. We may as well not have even been there. To be quite honest with you, I mean, we cleared 3 chances off the line, so that could have been an even worse score than what it was because they just ran through us like nothing. If we turn up like that tomorrow, then we're going to be up for another hammering, and we don't want 4 games loss on the bounce,
mm,
you know. So it's one of them, really. You don't want to lose. We don't want to lose. We need to turn up with the intention of not losing and
mm.
win the bloody game. But I mean, I saw signs from Amorim the other day that he was getting a little bit frustrated and a little bit
Mm.
annoyed. Did you see it where he was on the sidelines and he's got his head in his hands? You know
Well,
what I mean?
well, it's his quotes, right? With when he came into coaching for the team, it's like there's certain things that I should not have to be coaching these players with. They should have it already
See,
understood.
he's already saying it, then, isn't
So he's already, well, he's basically saying like certain players who just don't have it, or the absolute basics in football
he?
they don't understand. I don't want to be coaching people who don't understand football. And
Yeah.
some of the players at Manchester United, with all, let's all be completely fair,
Mm.
some of those players don't understand football.
And
So
some of them could also react badly to that as well. Because you've seen how they react to these kind of comments and stuff like that. Because I don't think Amorim's the kind of manager that wants to have the press in his face all the time. But I
no,
don't think he realised that when he actually signed here, because that was one of the first things he said. Was I've done more interviews
mm,
since I've been at Man United with the press than I have in my entire career with Sporting Lisbon. So it's a completely different story.
mm,
So the press is on you all the time. If you're not doing well, they're on you. If you're doing well, they're on you. So I do think I do think he'll do well. I hope not tomorrow. But I do think he will get it sorted eventually. He's got to get it sorted for fuck's sake. I mean,
mm.
how long are you going to carry on like this? He's got to turn at some point, surely.
Well, I'd say if there's anything to paint expectations with, we've already heard the comments from Omar Barada saying that he expects Man United to be winning the Premier League title by at least 2028.
Mm,
If you can win it before then fantastic. It means we're on track. Um, then that guy with this appointment of Amorim, thinking about, well, if Amorim's only here for like three years or so, that's right on the door of the cut-off point of title expectations. So Omar
yeah.
Barada has appointed Amorim with the impression that this guy has got what it takes to get this Man United team winning Premier League titles.
Mm,
So this has, essentially, you could say, with Amorim, this has to be the guy.
yeah, yeah.
Because-
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be. It's got to be.
so I'm relatively optimistic with that, rather than looking at it like, oh, that could backfire. I'm thinking with the team that's there, it's one of the best like boardroom structures of any club in the world, the most highest prestige. So you'd have to say more fingers point towards this thing working out than it not. But looking at what needs to be worked on right now, there's
Mm,
so much to go through. It feels like even though the journey is long, you just have to keep thinking, yeah, we will get there though. It will happen. It will click for us. Like
Yeah.
those glory days will come back for us. Um, so I'm relatively in a sound headspace with Man United at the
Mm.
moment. Question to both: what are your predictions? I think we've both gone with like a 2-1 for our respective
Two
teams.
one either way. Two one either way. But like I say, if we go in the lead, I'm not going to be doing the old. We got more goals than you, whatever.
We score one more than you.
I've learnt my lesson on that one.
It sure does come in after 3-2. Go, we'll concede one more than you.
Hmm.
That's it.
I've definitely learnt my lesson on that one. That was the worst ever, to be fair. Since I've been streaming, that was yeah, embarrassing. Is not even the point, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Woodsy hasn't scored, so basically he's going to be on. He's on quite good numbers at the moment. But then again, you've got Slabhead as well, who he could probably sort of like, because Woodsy's not the fastest of players. It's the way we play around him that's going to make the difference. And Morgan Gibbs White's looking better every time. I'm hoping he goes in midfield with Anderson, Morgan Gibbs White, and Yates. Even though Yates had a shit game against City, he weren't even involved in it. I don't even remember. I think I mentioned him once in the old watch along, which is quite unusual. And hopefully he kind of goes with that because I do like Anderson. I think Anderson is a great pickup for 35 million. I think it was an absolute steal. And Morgan Gibbs White gets better and better. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think it will be midfield where it's won. Personally, because it's got to down to midfield whether you get to your wing backs. We've got a great counter attack as well, 2 or 3 passes, and we're in. Although that's not really been working either at the minute. But we've just got to sort through it, and we've just got to get it going again. We did it before. So we know we can do it. It's just, can the manager actually get them up to that standard again? But I mean, if he can't, then he won't be the man in charge, because what Marianakis said the other day, he ain't going to accept anything else.
Mm.
You know?
I feel like with, especially with Man United's case, from an effort level standpoint, we did criticise under Ten Hag all the time. Players with the abilities to switch it off and on again. With Amorim, I've not really seen players, apart from one or two, as a team collective, switch off. Like
Yeah.
they've constantly been there, constantly been trying, constantly been pushing to make a difference on the pitch. From the way we can always pick out the positives from each individual's performance, rather than sitting here and just saying everyone was shit. Like it doesn't blend. Like you
No.
can pick out all the key positives from individuals in the team. So I know that Forest, even though we expect them to come out fighting, at the same time, us as Manchester United, we expect to go out fighting. So it's going to be two teams that will massively contest this game.
Yeah.
A lot of, I think, maybe a bit of a scrap, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll come down to that. I mean, if you look at Amorim as well, he looks like he's got an underlying sort of temperament as well that we haven't really seen yet, and that is what these players need, because we all know that these players can just like they get mollycoddled far too much as Man United players, in my opinion. And one or two of them need to be sort of told, you play for Manchester United. I know they've probably been told this many times, and I think it's probably going to come down to that, unless you actually start to turn it around and actually get. Because, like you say, if you win tomorrow, I think you're on 22 points, which is exactly the same as us. So, I mean, it's not as bad as it looks. I mean, what about if he, say, for instance, I don't know, say you finish where you are now, and he wins one of the cups? What would your thoughts be on that?
I mean, I'd be disappointed with how we would have gone about doing business in the league,
Mm,
because I think the league is going to be quite a big habit for Amorim, or quite a big focus.
mm,
With the cup competitions, I mean, I'd be happy about winning cups, um, and I think Amorim will sort of take that as like a, well, it's to him. I'd imagine it would be like a consolation prize. Like, I'm not going to go parading this. Like, look at the cup I won. Look at the cup I won. He's going to
yeah,
think,
yeah,
I won this cup, but that league performance was, yeah, that was
yeah,
pathetic.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's got to improve. So he would
Mm,
focus on that. And I think that you could say that dynamic would be different from what Ten Hag perhaps had in his mind, because he likes to go on about, oh well, I won 2 trophies. It's like,
mm.
yeah, but your league standards were crap. So
Do,
um,
do you think he'd be looking at a few like Sporting Lisbon players to bring one or two of them, like his like mainstays? Do you think he'll be looking at one or two of them to bring over?
um, whether he's the one looking at them, I'd imagine that he won't be against if Man United do go out to sign a couple of Sporting players.
Mm,
But for me, I think he's more concerned about the players that are here currently, the ones that he can establish as those that are surplus to requirements, but the ones that he's like, yeah, I can get something good out of this. I think that's what his massive rotation's been all about. Because some people have said, oh, he
mm.
rotates too much. I'm thinking, no, he's rotating perfectly for a guy that's figuring out his squad,
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's what
figuring
you
out
do, isn't it?
the
Yeah.
players that he can trust, the players that will
Hmm.
give everything, and the
Yeah.
players that don't fit the system. So
Exactly. Yeah.
so
Exactly. Yeah.
he's getting the experimentation and harder decision stuff out the way
Mm,
first, and then he's going to establish his strongest team, focus on that, rotate here and there to accommodate this hectic schedule, because we're playing 3 games
yeah.
a week until March, um, before international break comes back. So he's got to manage it somehow. But what we've
Mm,
all also sort of unintentionally seen with this mass rotation is that actually the the perceived depth of this squad is actually a little bit deeper than I think most United fans would have initially anticipated.
yeah.
So there's not maybe that many signings that need to be made in certain key areas before a squad's good enough to go and challenge for big honours.
Mm,
But then after that, after you built that squad, then you can say, well, all the squad fillers, can we improve those guys? Yes or no?
yeah.
And I
Do
think
you feel there's a change like in the fan base though? Like since he's come in with it, there's a patience there that
yeah,
this guy will get it sorted out, and if he
yeah,
can't sort it out with these players, he'll get rid of these players and he'll
yeah,
get his own players in and all that kind of stuff. Because you can't really judge him until he's actually got his own players in there. I mean, he's got Ugo, who basically used to play for him, I think, didn't he?
yeah, it does.
So yeah, and he's got him. So I mean, he's
Yeah,
got that. But I mean, there's other players there that I think he'll get rid of a lot. To be quite honest, I think there'll be a massive clear out. But then again, who do you sell them to? Because you've always struggled with selling, haven't you? Let me just see what Anthony's saying here. Yeah, he knows football. He's top of the league with Hartlepool on Football Manager 24. We are the champions, my friend, sang by Queen. I'm not top of the league, mate. I was playing it last night. Oh my days, driving me up the wall.
yeah.
It ain't easy, mate. I'll tell you that now. Quoting
So,
Mr.
Saeed,
Saeed,
Saeed
it ain't
settings.
easy.
It ain't easy, but at least we've got some. At least we're stocked up on biryani. Maybe Amarim likes biryani, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
that's
pulled a
maybe
few
that's it.
games back. I pulled a few games back with the changes and stuff like that, just as Anthony was saying, like, oh, well, you fucked this one up, haven't you? And then we scored right at the end and managed to get a draw. So, yeah. I'm doing the Clough run. When you start off with Hartlepool and then you end, mate, fuck it, I ain't managing fucking Derby. I won't be doing that part of the run. But hopefully do all right with Hartlepool and get offered the Forest job and then see how we go on that. But I can't see that happening at the minute, to be honest. I'll be like Jez and get fucking sacked soon, should be.
Sacked after just the Community Shield.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Did you win the special golden china plate? No, sacked. But
you see, the thing is, what you got to take into account, Anthony plays it on a mobile, which is like a real bog standard Football Manager version. It's not like the PC version where you have to sort of, there's so much more to it. What you've got to sort out, like the talking to players is an absolute nightmare because they don't put it in the game correctly. So it's like you'll get a player who plays a 10, right?
Yeah.
10's the highest he can get. Average of 10. So you turn around to him and say, well done, you played really well that game. And they'll go, oh, well, I didn't think so. But obviously our opinions differ. And I'm like, what? I'm saying you did well, fuck's sake. Like all unicorn people.
But yeah. Anyways, we'll probably call it a day there.
Are you working tomorrow? Are you available at 3?
I'll be working tomorrow. Bloody Christmas schedules at retail now. It was a pain in the arse of Black Friday, and now we're in Christmas sales, so non-fucking stop. But
what are you doing? Are you the mannequin in the shop window with a dress on?
Yeah, I pose for people in the street. It's a bit awkward when they need to redress me, though. They'll pop my torso off and pop it next to my legs. all for the world to see and all of that.
Yeah, it is, Anthony. Look, I've won lots of trophies on a mobile phone game of Football Manager. My phone was just buzzing with weather alert. It's bad here. What's that to do with your Football Manager? They didn't get weather on it, do you, on the mobile?
I heard that Harry Kane's missed penalties are counted as bad weather alerts.
Yeah.
You need to watch out for flying missed penalties from Harry Kane. That's it. But anyways, we'll call it a day there with the show. Before we head off, just a quick one. A bit of a shout out or a bit of moments of acknowledgement to one certain individual that's been a big part of Manchester United Football Club, who's recently passed away. And that is Kathy Phipps, who's service to Manchester United for 56 years. Started working at the club when Sir Matt Busby was still there.
Wow.
Like, she has been there for ages and ages and ages. And genuinely, you talk about legends in footballers and managers as such, but that right there, you can say, hands down, is a legend, absolutely in her own right for Manchester United Football Club. The amount of players that have come through that door, the amount of people she's greeted. I mean, Amorim has known her from when he came to do his coaching badges whilst Josie was still here, and even he's like biggest smile on her face for welcoming him. So
yeah,
with certain things, I mean, I don't know if she was there when Amorim came in. I can't imagine she would have been because she probably wouldn't have been around. So, but yeah, rest in peace to Kathy Phipps.
Yeah, absolutely, and respect to the family as well.
Yeah, condolences to the family, but yeah, Manchester United's definitely lost a very, very special person there, and hopefully tomorrow we'll see a pre-match tribute to us. I'll be hoping.
Big up words, pictures.
Yes, big up to words, pictures. Big ups to 4 Pete.
Big up 4 Pete. All right, mate. Big up Carl Rossi as well. How you doing, bro?
Everyone's coming in at the wrong time. We were just about to finish up. But, see, even Stephanie's coming here. Everybody's just coming. Guys, switch back, right? Drag the bar right the way to the to the start of the stream to catch us or watch it on playback and all that good stuff. But guys, thank you very much to everybody for tuning in. It's been a smashing stream. An hour and 10 minutes has flown by. Of course, helped very much by my co-host for today's preview, Long-Haired Yeti's Cave, which, if you're watching on my end, you'll find a link to the channel in the stream title. It's hyperlinked, so it's an easy click away. Do be sure to pop over to his channel and subscribe there. Yeti, what have you got planned on the horizon in your channel's proceedings?
Well, I got more watch-alongs coming. Obviously, the Man United Forest game tomorrow, where we batter you and show you just what time it is. And and then basically gaming and game reviews and movie reviews and just basically building the channel. I'll have a show coming up with Anthony Herbert at some point, which will be like a regular thing in the week. We haven't thought of a name yet. Be the Prick and the Bell End or something like that. If YouTube allows that kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, Long-Haired Yeti's Cave. Make sure you sub to Hot Fuzz, who's not over there. He's actually over there. Still never get that right. But yeah, make sure you sub to Only Fools. Only Fools. Make sure you sub
Only
to
Fuzz.
Hot
Who needs
Fuzz.
Only Fans? Have only Fuzz. Only Fuzz. There you go.
Yeah, make sure you sub to Hot Fuzz if you're in my channel. And yeah, just fun, mate. Having fun, having chats with the people in the chat and stuff like that. On the Anthony show, probably have a few people coming onto the channel as well for like a few minutes, have a chat and things like that, and get to know all the dwellers and things like that. So yeah, cheers for having me on. And yeah,
Lovely. Appreciate it. And maybe Saturday night, if you're around, could do a match review. If,
I might do the final whistle if you want, and then we'll share that.
Yeah, do the final whistle, and also expect to see us on me especially on Sunday night takeaway show on the day after. A few games this weekend that might be an intriguing watch to go with. I mean, the final Merseyside derby at Goodison Park before they call it a day there.
Oh yeah, that one's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Crystal Palace, Man City's bogey team. Will they send them back to crisis settings? I hope they do. I hope they do. And then Sunday, Fulham versus Arsenal. Going to be an upset there. And Tottenham versus Chelsea. Oh,
that's a good one as well, isn't it?
If Tottenham, I tell you what, if Tottenham turn up and play how they did against Bournemouth, it is curtains for them.
Yeah.
First half, GG's, game over. Half time whistle, definitely. Make it the full time whistle, mate.
Definitely.
But and then of course Monday night, El Sakiko. Who gets the boot? Lopetegui or Gary O'Neill?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, might do a stream for that as well. To be honest,
do a sack along.
And Anthony says only if I'm the prick. Well, you're always the prick, mate. Can't go without saying.
Fuzzy Yeti legends. Big ups to Stephanie Griffith as well. Thanks for tuning in. But yes, thank you to everybody for watching and those who have smashed the likes and also subscribed. Gained a few subs today. So lovely stuff. Thank you very much for that. And yes, expect to see us back here again tomorrow after all the proceedings have been fulfilled, all said and done. I will be looking back on some of the games for this weekend. So yeah, looking forward to it. Once again, thanks for joining me, Yeti.
Yeah.
And everybody else, enjoy your Friday.
Just one more thing, Fuzz. Just one more thing, mate. Keep it real, keep it Yeti. Everyone who's in the cave, make sure you sub to this awesome guy, Fuzzy. And make sure you get down to where he's working tomorrow as well and see him in a dress in the window of his shop. You know, make sure you get some video as well, so you can post it as a short. You know what? I actually joined TikTok the other day. Yeah, and I've put loads of shorts on there, and nearly all of them have got like took down, banned or whatever. they've all got like mature ratings put on them straight away. So yeah, we're on the right track, I suppose.
Someone's been watching your YouTube channel.
I think they have, mate. Yeah, I think they have.
But anyways, have a good evening, everybody in the chat, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And as we say on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it's for the greater good.
Take care, guys.
Bye bye.